This is the fucking season 2 fucking theme song.
Hey, y'all.
Season 2.
Welcome back.
Hey.
This is fucking live.
We live, baby. On the air. It says record on air.
Everywhere
Junior.
now.
Hey, everybody.
Oh, we're wearing masks today?
Just right here.
We're wearing masks today? Is that what
We're trying to promote healthy.
Haven't we always wore masks?
I don't know.
Not in here.
Yeah.
We usually
I don't
take
know.
them.
I'm going to be
time.
picture in picture today, so. How
Hey,
y'all doing?
That's
Hey,
DB
y'all.
in the picture.
Yep, that's me in the picture in picture.
Oh, that one over there is delayed, isn't it? So I can do
Yeah,
something
no,
now.
don't look at this one.
And then
Don't look at this one over
I
here.
do it again.
That's me in the corner.
Don't look at this one. Let me turn this one off so you don't have to look at
Oh,
it.
no,
Hang
I
on.
like it.
I know you do, but that's cool.
It's gonna distract him.
All right. So when we move to Johnny, I can go over here and just go back.
Do we have any
So-
viewers today?
Who?
Any viewers? Anybody watching on Twitch?
There's 2 people.
Hey, 2 people.
What's up?
There's 2 people. I don't know who they are.
Say hello
but
to
whatever.
people.
Whatever.
All right, so
I don't
check
know
it
who they
out.
are.
Y'all are ahead of the curve. If you're in here right now, I don't know why you're here, but I appreciate it, first of all. My name is Johnny. This is Junior. To my left,
Hello.
you'll see him in the Lakers
Junior.
hat. That's DB running the magic on the boards. And you're in for a motherfucking treat. And excuse the foul language, but we're just hyped today because we're in the studio. It looks so incredibly sick in here. Like,
This is
I can't
really cool.
even get over that to get into the show
Yeah,
yet.
this is
Like,
really cool.
I'm still soaking this in.
This is awesome.
Really is.
I think DB's been working that.
You know, look, I got the picture in picture going everywhere. You know, I can watch this. I can make it go away. Let me make that picture in picture go away.
DB's been doing shit.
Not
That's
only
what he
does it
said.
go,
Listen, man.
not only does it go away, it fades away.
It fades away, and then when I show Junior, I can go back, and I'll come back, and I'm in the other corner.
He said, this pandemic can suck my nuts. I learned something, and I'm in here killing it.
Hey, can we cuss on Twitch?
We've been cussing
Look,
this whole
yeah.
time.
I never cuss, but
Hang on. Look,
makes me want to say one cuss word.
Don't
at
do it.
least.
Don't do it.
don't do it.
Don't go down that path.
Jesus is one of the viewers, so
I know.
be careful.
He'll forgive me.
No, look, I did make our Twitch channel. It is for adults. Kids can come, but just know that you might hear some words.
Right.
What is it called?
Parental advisory.
Well,
Yeah.
there's no donkey shows happening if that's what we're talking about.
No. It's just the language.
It's just Twitch.
It's just the
not-
language,
yeah.
man.
We have
It's
fun
just
up in
gonna be
here.
the language.
Yeah.
So
Bottom
It's
that's-
not OnlyFans. It's just
Yeah,
Twitch.
that's okay.
Well,
Anyway, so
with the theme song out the way, like, the business is music. We
The
are here.
business
Is
music.
all right,
Batabash.
all right.
We get better every time.
Yeah, more in sync.
I don't know.
Every time.
I don't know.
It's
You
so
know what
good.
we need one more camera where we see everyone together. But
You know,
we're calling this the pandemic
I
special.
think what it is, he has something on the cart in Amazon. He's been thinking about.
oh man, the South Park
know.
pandemic special.
So that was hilarious.
That
I really enjoyed that.
crazy
That was
good.
fun.
The South Park.
really-
I haven't.
yeah.
I haven't
Oh,
watched
you
it.
haven't
You gotta
Oh,
watch
it's pretty
it.
funny.
You
Yeah.
gotta watch it. But
They-
today,
I don't know how they get away with bashing like Disney.
Oh,
Mickey
everybody.
Mouse.
Yeah.
nobody says they get away with
Who-
it. They
who
just
knows,
do
man?
it and
Who
deal
knows?
with it.
Who knows? Whatever.
So I think that today's episode, we dedicate it to the fact that everybody has this romantic idea of who they are within the realm of the business of music, right? Like, I'm an engineer, and they're so cut and dry into that. But I know engineers that produce. I know producers that engineer. I know songwriters that are artists and vice versa. And then some artists only are artists and they don't write and they don't produce and they don't do anything else besides be the artist, right? So I think that we can kind of cut into that subject a little bit and get a picture of what it is that everybody here does, because I feel like that's going to allow for people to give themselves a little bit more freedom to be anything they need to be in that moment. This right now in the year of 2020, it is moving too quickly for you to be stuck in you are this one thing or you want to be this one thing. I think that there's too much that you could be doing because you limit yourself at that point. You're stuck on, no, I only shoot 3-pointers. No, you got to score. And that's kind of where I'm coming from.
If
So,
LeBron is a point guard now,
yeah, literally.
I mean, you got to do what's needed at this point in the days that we're living in this day and age. You have to do what you have to do.
Heavy on the Laker bias.
Tough.
Heavy
It's
on
gonna
the
be
Laker
till we
bias.
say, all right, cut. We're done for the day. You're gonna watch me. I mean, Kobe is coming. A couple of references from Kobe's
There
are
you go.
coming. Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
The Mamba
be ready.
mentality, yeah.
Mamba
I mean,
mentality. No, to be honest, look, I started as a musician, and then I became a producer, very novice producer.
Expand on musician though. You started as a musician.
Yeah, I started as a
what did
musician.
that mean?
I started playing music when I was very early. I was 8 when I started learning piano, and I'm happy that I started learning piano, because as a piano player, you kind of understand melodies, you understand rhythm, you understand how to arrange songs. The piano is a great instrument if you really want to learn melodic stuff. Like it's just a cool instrument to learn. I learned it when I was 8 years old, and then in my teens I got into guitar, and then bass just came naturally. A little bit of drumming, and then programming was easy for me just because I knew how to play piano, and it kind of was hand in hand with MIDI. Everything that I would see in MIDI, my first DAW was Cubase. Shout out to Cubase, sponsor the show already. Dang it.
Cakewalk.
Cakewalk, yeah. But to be honest, it was all MIDI, and it was very relative to, like, MIDI notes are keyboard notes, actually. So
Right.
I played all through my teens into like my mid 20s, and I understood how to play guitar and bass just naturally. But then when I was done with like playing in bars and gigs and coming home 2-3 o'clock in the morning, and then going back to work at 7-8 in the morning, and I was just done with that. And I always loved recording, so I said, you know what? I really, really love recording. I'm just gonna learn more about recording. I was already recording in studios as a piano player, as a musician, so I did pick up a lot from just being in the studio. I just picked it up. But when I went into learning audio engineering, I probably put the piano to the side and the music hat. Boom, the music hat. I took it off and I put it to the side just to be able to absorb as much as I could as far as audio engineering and producing. But then when I felt like I know enough that I want to bring back my music, like I actually had to sit down in front of the piano again after not playing it for like a year or two, and start my scales, start practicing. I felt rusty, right? But I didn't put down the audio engineer or music producer hat anymore. Like, I just wanted to continue learning, but bring back the ability that I can integrate being a musician now with music producer, because I understand notes and melodies. So music producer, and then now audio engineering. So I felt like in some points in my career, I had to kind of like slow down in one part of my learning experience, and then just for the benefit of everything, to become a well-rounded person or artist that I am. Because you're right, we're artists. No matter what you are, a producer or an engineer, your artistic side is just, it's just showing, because the artist. What we do is art. It's really what we do. It's just art.
I agree.
And so yeah, I started as a musician, and it did help me understand. Playing piano helped me understand like how to tune vocals, how to add harmonies to vocals, and so that as a producer, yeah, it was just easy. It was just easy for me.
Super sidebar. Vocalists, your voice is the instrument.
Yep.
So a lot of times, especially when it comes to my experience in the urban and hip hop realm, it's so, you're going to get one of two kinds of artists. The artist one is the artist that has something to say, and they're very aggressive, and they want their voice to represent them. And I don't think that they're thinking about the music. They're only thinking about getting it out. Artist two understands that it's part of the song, and they kind of find a way to fall into it and be an ingredient, as opposed to just, take it over and control it. So I think that that's something to note as well. But to speak to the idea of what we are, what we do, and being flexible, especially in 2020 going forward, technology is in a place that it's never been. And we can, it's kind of Captain Obvious to say like, oh, of course, technology is cutting edge. I mean, of course, it's the latest day in the future that we're going to get to right now is today, right? So it's only as good as that. But just thinking of the evolution of recording music and the access to that over the last 50 years, I think the last 10, 15 years have been 300, 400% versus the 40 years before that.
Yeah.
So that's the part that really gets me, because now I'm thinking, all right, I can't just sit and lay on the back of, well, I'm a producer or I'm an engineer or I write songs. I'm doing 15 different things because they all relate to the same thing. They all relate to music. I've become in that little pool of my own, I've become anything having to do with music. That's kind of where I'm at. And even to the podcast, like we're all music guys, but we're doing a podcast. A podcast is completely separate from music creation, but understanding how to compose and how to write things. I think that that's kind of where the show gets its flavor from, is the fact that we all kind of know, like, if we're talking about a subject, we know how to kind of open it up and examine from different angles, and maybe even include the fourth party perspective of the audience when they're not here live to say or ask the questions or say things. We put ourselves in that position. So I think being flexible now, going forward for the next 10 years, for anybody that's either starting out, picking it up, or even been here for a long time, don't get stuck in the quicksand of what you set out to be at some point, because now, whether you want to accept it or not, it has changed.
Oh, yeah.
Even if you don't realize it, you've changed.
Yeah.
Your skill set has changed. So,
you know what? Sorry to interject, but also not just the music side, as far as like, I don't know yourself. I think we all in this, right? We consider each one of us as a business, right? I carry the hat as my own. I own my own company. Yep. So if I own my own company, I have to even understand accounting and invoicing and everything that has to do with scheduling. Not only do we have to worry about the music side, we have to understand that we are a walking company. So I had to learn by asking, by going on YouTube, by just researching how to do all these other things that I wasn't expecting it to do it, or I didn't realize that I had to do it. So not only did I have to polish like audio engineering skills, learning more about production, learning more about etc., anything music, but it also has to be done that you have to learn the business side of it. And we do this podcast to teach these, whoever's listening really, but these things that we have learned as far as like the business side of it. And we're constantly learning, because it's changing apps every day. Like everything's just becoming easier access really. But you have to also wear that hat. That I have to, I have to do accounting now. I have to do bookkeeping. I have to do,
budgets,
everything.
And
so all of that is important.
And invoices. I think, when it comes to especially the idea of a creator, you have to zoom out to the most basic version of that. Because much like we say, we make music and we are in the business of that, I think that it's also important to understand, thinking about someone that works in video. Look at all the work that DB's done. Look at the fact that this looks incredibly professional. And it took so much chipping away at figuring it out and testing out stuff and installation and building. So to me, it's so much like now we're in a totally different realm.
Yeah, we're changing.
Even to speak on the endeavors that I've got coming around, like the websites of different services and businesses and things that are going to help the industry from different angles. I would have never pictured myself, just from being a kid, dreaming of like, oh, I want to be in a studio. I didn't know what I would be doing in the studio. I was just like, I just want to be in one. I thought it'd be so cool, and it still is. But now it's cool for a different reason. And even now, being able to cut open the idea of what it is that people need from the end user standpoint. Let's say that everybody listening never gets to the other side of it, because people get to enjoy creating, they don't want to worry about contracts. They don't want to worry about bookkeeping and all the things that you just described. There's a small percentage of people that get to that other side only because they allow and want to. Yeah. They push to that other side. Everybody else, there's entire communities of hundreds of thousands of people that are just at home having fun. And I still want to represent for them too, and let them know, even if you don't go into the business side of it, as a creator, there are different levels of evolution that you have to allow for yourself to get to. Producers come all the time and ask the same question, well, how do I get songs written over my beats? And I'm like, the first answer is write a song. And they're like, I'm not a singer. I'm not a songwriter. I'm like, but you know what fits there, right? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, so write even if it's 4 bars, write something to it, because you're limiting your creativity. You have it there. You're just stifling it. You're pushing it behind the hat of producer. I look up to certain producers. I love the idea that they produce, but then there's 20 other things that I can do. Why not do that? Why not be that if I can, if I have the ability? So my message is, don't limit yourself. Don't box yourself in. Explore the business side. People that start out in a band end up A&Rs, end up managers, end up everything else, because we need that. Yeah. The industry needs you in some capacity. You're willing to do it. You want to do the work. You're doing it with a head full of steam and a heart full of love. Like, bring it on through.
And also is that, for example, I'm not a songwriter. I realize I'm not a songwriter. What I am is a producer, a music producer, a musician, an audio engineer. So I bring all that to the table. So what I would recommend to somebody that's not a songwriter or a producer but still wants to make music, or an audio engineer but still wants their songs to sound great, is the connections are very important too. I've connected with like a student that now, you know, she's writing music, and I saw the talent she had. And that was my weakness, of writing actual lyrics to songs. So what I did is I just, you know, I came to an agreement like, look, I'll put what I bring to the table. You bring to the table what you have, and let's make songs. Why are we going to stop? Why are my beats or my songs not going to have lyrics if there are connections that are going to allow for that to happen? But you can't just, I can't do this, okay, and then that's it. No, you got to figure out how are you going to get lyrics on your songs if you don't write?
It's too easy to come from a place of maybe fear or lack of confidence. And I think that that's something that runs rampant. And along with, even to the degree of defense mechanisms and coping mechanisms, you know, when you come to the studio and you feel like you can't write or you can't perform because you're not drinking or you didn't smoke, like, these are all things that you're boxing yourself into something. There's something that you're allowing to limit you. You're allowing something to create a wall or a barrier to something that you can explore past, and it's hard. The shit is really hard.
That's not Mamba mentality.
Yeah, exactly.
I had to say it.
Yeah, it could be very simple or very difficult for some people, where maybe to someone else, you know, it isn't. And
yeah,
it's just very, it comes down to our own human nature, that we always get to a place where we can hide behind something or give a small, insignificant barrier way more strength and power than it should have over us, because we're hiding behind, I'm only this, I'm only that. You could be anything in this business, and you can be anything that you want. So much like how I was saying, think about what goes into a movie. There's writers, there's set designers, there's grips, there's lights and camera and costume design, script writers and actors, and they only deliver the lines. They don't come up with the lines. So there's so many jobs, and that's something that I want to, we're actually, as a team, we're all going to be working to get all of those other names of those other jobs out, because people have really boiled it down to, well, I either sing or I make music or I write music.
Yeah.
There's 100 jobs in this business. Yeah. So don't fall into.
You know what's an overlooked job, to be honest? There's people that know how to talk to people, right? Mm-hmm. There's people that don't have probably any, like, hardly any talent, or they're very, you know, new in their career and getting started in music. But there's people that know how to bring people to the studio. And hey, you get somebody to work the session, work the client, he becomes a client, right? You can still get a percentage of what you did, because what you did was brought work to the studio, work to the engineer, work to the producer. And that's something else too. Like, we don't see, I mean, for me, I don't consider myself a good salesperson. I have other abilities, but there's people. I used to work with another friend of mine. He was really good at talking to people. He was a DJ. So he would go in these parties, bring people to us, and that's also something you can do. Like, there's just so many things that we can do in this business. You know, it's just not necessarily like what you said, like this studio, all these lights and everything had, you know, they were not here. There was a way to get it done, but I couldn't do it. I mean, I don't think I can do it. Maybe I can, but I
would not have come up with this setup.
It's crazy.
I would have had my phone on a tripod, and we would have never been on Twitch if it was up to me. DB came through with all the shit.
DB.
And he was like, yo, by the way, I have an entire TV studio in the house now. And we're like, what? This is crazy.
That's what I'm saying. It's such a team effort, and it's such a like. It's always that's why I like collaborating, because then you expand a little bit more.
Yeah, no,
you know?
I mean collaboration, and obviously we've probably either touched on it or it'll be a whole discussion to itself. But collaboration, it's so much more about your own growth. Like
it is.
When
completely.
people treat it like you're gonna get something from the other person, like you're gonna take their skill set and make yourself more valuable, it's really not that. Collaboration should be about how you expand and grow, because communication is where the real wealth in this entire business for me comes from, is being able to get a point across. I don't have to sound like a dick when I'm telling you, look, like this, and this needs to change. And it's for the benefit of both of us. If there's no benefit on both sides, what's the point in even talking about it? There's no reason for any of that. So communication is so key in this business that collaboration forces that muscle to work when you're not even thinking about it. You're not thinking about how you're communicating with people, but working with others forces that to happen anyway. So it's just leading by example in your own life and letting yourself grow. So to me, I think back to the times where I had a 9-to-5 and I had having to get out and do things that I wasn't really excited about. I wasn't really happy about it. And happiness is not like jumping for joy all the time. Happiness is just being content with what you're doing. And at that time, I just know how, to a degree, miserable I was. And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with music, but I'm going to do music. Only music. I will only do that. And it came from the business. It came from understanding how the communication and everything moves and works. And now I look back and I think, for the people that are listening, that will listen to this show at some point, and we're sitting at the end of 2020, the last quarter, and it's been a hell of a year, like, and not in the good way. It's been hell
bad,
in the form of a year.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You know, all that aside, I think that this entire movement and the fact that we're sitting at the crest of the wave watching everything happening, because change is happening so much faster nowadays than it ever did before in the business, that we can stand at the top of the crest and look back. And for everyone that's not doing this full time, that's thinking about it, or thinking about how they go from one level to the next, all we're saying is, don't think that there's a set of rules out there that says you're only going to be able to do it this way. That doesn't exist. There are no rules to this. There's no hierarchy to follow.
I don't even think there was before, but especially now,
we were convinced there was,
age,
though. For a long time, I feel like everybody around me treated it like there was this hierarchy and lineage that had to be followed. That lineage exists because people know what to do and they know how to get things done.
Sure.
If you don't, or if you don't know someone that knows that, yeah, it's going to take work. It's going to take longer, but it was never because of who those people were. It's because of what they knew. And you have to arm yourself with information. Information will allow for that freedom and flexibility of what's going on inside of you as a creator to really develop. That's the developer. The information is the developer. There's a lot of info out there, and a lot of it is wrong. But the more you take, the more you know. Good coffee versus regular coffee. Like, that's just you have to try enough things to build taste and to build a catalog in your head about what's really worth paying attention to. Everything else falls by the wayside.
The way I see every day, I mean, it's probably everybody, but every day is a learning experience, and the next day will come unless you don't, unless you're done. And
that's on being a student.
The thing is that you're never going to stop learning, to be honest. It's like every day it surprises me how I did this for so many years or for so long, and then there's another way to do it, and or there's another method. It's just, it never stops. So yeah, it's, man, the age that we live in is just changing so rapidly, and we just got to hop on DB.
I throw DB this curveball.
He's got no microphone.
Can we hear you?
Yeah, I got a microphone.
He's mic'd up.
But I'm
so busy trying to figure out which button to press.
Just press them all at once.
I'm so
see what happens.
I'm just pressing buttons. Like, I'm just like, whatever. You know, I'm just like, whatever.
Click the preset of all in.
Whatever.
All in, but all buttons in.
I didn't set that one up. I'm sorry.
So the curveball that I tossed that way is, how do you feel about music purists in the business of music?
I don't know. Maybe
mean, music
clarify the question a little bit. Do you mean purist?
So for me, I feel like my approach as a producer from the creative side, I wanted it to be that I made every element in this loop and I came up with it out of nowhere. And it's like,
gotcha.
you know, they're against using new VSTs or new tools or even
Samples.
checking out new technology or samples because they don't know how to leverage that. They don't know how to make it work for them. So I feel like it's so much like, no, it has to be this. Like,
so if it's a kick, it's an actual kick.
right,
Kick.
exactly.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean,
I got you.
there's just, to me, it's just like looking at it from a very rigid standpoint versus being open and flowing to what's happening. I mean, technology, we're on Twitch for God's sakes.
Well, that's a great thing to talk about. But you're coming at it from the producer standpoint,
Right, me.
Coming at it from a technical standpoint, like the engineer or the mix guy. I mean, I had to deal with a guy the other day in one of the studios that was he couldn't deal with my Pro Tools because he's on Pro Tools 9.
Oh my gosh.
We know why he's on Pro Tools 9, right?
Because of the cracks.
Because he got his free plugins, and I called him out on it, and that was exactly what it was, that he was stuck on that because it's got the things that he's used to and the things that he knows are in there, you know, and that's what he's used to, and so he doesn't want to change anything. But I don't know, man. You can't be afraid of technology. You can't be afraid to get on Twitch.
Yeah.
You can't be afraid to press these buttons.
You really can't be afraid of technology because
To flip
like
around the
lot
different
of
angles.
a lot of studios have been, you know, catching up with technology, right? So, for example, all of our rooms are really caught up. So if you're fall back like on Pro Tools 8, 9, and then you go to a studio.
I mean, then too. I mean, with what's been going on the past few weeks, right, or the past few months, a lot of our friends, a lot of people that I know, a lot of people that you guys know, they're gone. They're not coming back.
Oh, you mean like studios?
Studios, yeah. I mean, they've either downsized or they've gone somewhere else, or they just let their business go, whatever. I saw a guy, he was basically selling everything. You know, he's like the whole everything. He's just selling the business.
Wow.
You know, and it's one of these businesses that we all know, and you know, and we know who it is. You know, and but he's done. He just doesn't want to do it anymore. And while we're talking about this guy, well, that doesn't. This is a weird segue, but whatever. We
I
should
just see
all.
you pressing buttons.
I know, it's like whatever.
I love it.
Whatever, man. I don't care. Hi, Mom.
Fucking Twitch,
Whatever.
baby. We made it.
I made it.
I'm on TV, Mom.
I'm going back home because I made it.
Yes.
No, look, we got to give a shout out to our one of our probably all of our heroes as far as guitar goes. You know, we lost Eddie Van Halen today, man, and just it's really sad.
What?
You know, yeah, it was really, you know, he's been sick for a while, but
I didn't know this.
Yeah, he passed away. I'm sorry, Junior. I didn't mean to spring that on.
I mean, I've been working all day in sessions. I haven't been
Yeah,
in
I'm
front of
sorry,
the-
man, but
Man, no way.
like a couple hours ago, man, and it's been, you know, it's just been, it's been kind of rough, man, because, you know, I don't know, growing up, that was the band, bro. That was who to listen to, you know.
Beat
Van Halen was our shit, man. It was just, you know, there's so many good songs and so many great memories and from teenage years, and you know, the dude was only 65 years old, man, and you know, cancer took him though. So, you know, whatever anybody want to shout out to, you know, help out and maybe donate to some cancer research, that'd be great. You know, let's see what we can do.
Down.
You know what I'm saying? So, just keep Eddie's family in your thoughts. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, that's nuts.
there you go.
And real quick, to kind of take it from there and the idea of donation and such, I actually got to talk to a guy that runs I think it's like a continuation school, and he works with charter schools and stuff in San Diego. And he had me speak to a couple of his students that were interested in music, and he works mainly with like at-risk youth. And I thought that was so wild because like at some point I was considered an at-risk youth. I never heard that term, but I went to continuation because I wasn't a fan of traditional education, and that's terrible because I'm a fan now, but I feel like I just wasn't interested in what was going on, and like I was just like, well, what's better than sitting at school making money? So I got a job, and after that I went and did continuation and I got my GED, but I was a fan of educating myself on the things that I liked, and so I think that a lot of times when we have something like the school system made just very generically. I understand why it's implemented, and I agree with a lot of the curriculum, just not all of it. I just feel like there's some things that you're never going to use, and there's some things that you absolutely should know and you don't, and you got to go pay $200,000 for at some other school for 4 years. So, you know, just in that
Teach your kids how to balance their checking account. Damn, people. It ain't hard.
That right there is
unbelievable.
Number 1A plus 1.
Tell them what income tax is.
God,
so when they're 18, they know.
Don't get me started, people.
Income tax and credit, like just
don't get me started, people. I don't want to.
I remember. Did it happen to you when I came out of high school and I had my first job and I didn't get the money that was supposed to get paid?
Oh man, we should have had. There's a thing on. We got another input that we're not using because I was gonna bring up some YouTube videos, but there's a YouTube video of this kid who got his first paycheck from his first job.
Oh,
I saw it.
And he sees how much money came out. He's so pissed.
Yeah,
he's so pissed, and his dad's just laughing at him. That's not funny. The dad's laughing at you, man. But you know, it's the truth. Because nobody told this kid that was going to happen.
Nobody says this.
Nobody says anything, man. It's just, come on, tell the kids.
If it's my kid, I'm laughing at him. But
come on.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's the thing is like back to being flexible, back to being malleable. Be open to what it is that you actually want in your world, because you have to devise your reality. You have to create your life. You have to create your world. And yeah, just being educated on something that you enjoy and that you look to as maybe like your North Star, your focal point, just push toward that. Some people want to be welders. Like there's so much information online and YouTube. At some point that is going to come to a halt. And between now and then, let's hope that it doesn't happen in our lifetime. Just leverage how much information there is in the world and teach yourself what you want to know about.
Oh yeah. No, YouTube is amazing. To learn anything really that you want to
Such a great tool.
Yeah, it's a really, really
How do you think I learned how to use all this stuff, man? Come on.
Beast.
You know?
Beast mode.
I was trying to
Well, DB's from the Matrix. I think he called somebody and downloaded it into his brain, and he was able to do all that.
He's Neo.
I can't.
He is the one. He's Morpheus.
He's Morpheus.
I was gonna try to find a Van Halen song to play to get us out of here, but I can't see this stupid.
Well, did anybody in Twitch had any questions or comments and concerns?
This open calls asking all kind of questions, man. But
anything really that we could answer?
You know, just anybody got any questions that are watching from the three people that are watching?
What's popping?
The three Twitch people.
Shout out Twitch.
Come on, one of y'all got a question? Damn.
We'll set up a PlayStation 5 up in here soon.
They're gonna ask for our checking account, and if they can send us 2 checks.
Nice.
Yeah.
Send them.
All right. I'd say we get out of here, guys. What do you think?
That's a wrap.
No, it's a wrap. Thank you for
I've
joining.
Had enough, man. I can't press buttons anymore. So.
He's got like 3.
Amazing.
Right. Well, listen. This is only going to get better, everybody. So just listen.
Well, it can't get worse.
This is true. It can't get much worse. But no, look. Tomorrow, if anybody's watching Twitch now, tomorrow at about 1:30, we're actually gonna set up this whole system in the other studio, and we're gonna record drums live.
I'm gonna watch.
All right, we're gonna set up. We're gonna show the setup of the drums, the mics, the placements, and everything, and then the setup of the Pro Tools session. I don't know. You guys might learn something tomorrow, so maybe come on and pay attention. Who knows? Whatever. We might get 4 watchers tomorrow.
Hell yeah.
We might get 4 or 5 people watching tomorrow. Anyway, all right, you guys be good. We're gonna play a song, getting you out of here. But
mic drop.
Have a great day.
Mamba out.
Just simply for Junior, I'm gonna say go Lakers.
Go Lakers. Yeah, baby.